All right, this question up here, we're going to give it a shot and we're going to read immediately, right here in the question sentence, that we're asking for the volume in cubic feet. Okay, so here's what most people see. Most people will read, what is the volume? Which is proper. That's a huge, very specific mathematical word, a geometry specific word. And we see that we're given a shipping container that has these dimensions. We see that the dimensions are 3, 8, and 6. So because we're talking about a shipping container, if you might imagine that, what we have over here is a little container that can be long, something looking like this. And that is terrible, but I think we get the illustration. That's what a shipping container looks like. So with that, we're thinking, okay, cool. This is a rectangular prism, and so my volume is going to be the length times the width times the height. We should feel pretty good about that. Now, when we plug everything in, everybody, is there any problem with just plugging and chugging? We have the length, we have the width, we have the height. Nothing wrong, right? 3 times 8 times 6. Well, here's the little issue, everyone. There's a small little problem. When we think about the 3, that's in yards. The 8, that's feet. The height, feet. There's a problem, everyone. The problem is that while we do have feet for our width and height, our length is in yards. That's a problem. We have got to convert that and then plug it back in. So let me grab this right here. Let's move this off to the side. Let's figure out what 3 yards is in feet, and then we'll plug in the right value. So notice how this was a very short problem, but if we overlook that one little detail right here, we will get messed up. So here, 3 yards. How do we convert that into feet? Well, for every yard, you have 3 feet. That is our conversion. 1 yard equals 3 feet. So to turn yards into feet, we will multiply every yard by 3. Because for every yard, again, 3 feet. So here, when we convert, everyone, what is 3 multiplied by 3? What will that give us? That gives us 9. So that is 9 feet. Now I have the right unit. Instead of using 3 yards, that will be 9 feet. And there we go. Now we can multiply. Now we're good because I know that now I'll get cubic feet because feet times feet times feet, that is what will give me cubic feet. So I should feel pretty good about that. Let's go ahead and get it done. 9 multiplied by 8, that's going to give us 72. And then we have 72 multiplied by 6. So let's go ahead and do this here on the side. 72 multiplied by 6. 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 7 times 6 is 42, carry the 1 is 43. And there we are. Our correct final answer will be 432 cubic feet. And that's why answer choice D is the correct answer and not A. A would have been achieved if you forgot to convert the 3 yards. So again, the correct answer is answer choice D. All right, in this next problem here, we are going to begin by reading that question sentence, and it says, what is the sale price? Okay, so before I read any of the information here up top, I understand sale price to be the amount that I pay at the end. So let's make sure we understand what we want to find always. Because if we're trying to find a tax or a discount versus the sale price, those are 2 completely different things. So again, we want the final amount, the sale price. Okay, great. So let's just make sure we label that as what we pay. Next, let's get the context. It says a desk chair originally costs $180 and is marked 25% off. Okay, so here's what most people would try to do here. Most people would try to immediately go and say, hey, 25%, that's the percent I'll multiply by. and I'll multiply by the original amount, which is 180. And here's the problem with doing that. Everyone, answer this question here. When I take a look at the 25%, everyone, what does the 25% represent according to the problem? 25% off. What does 25% off really mean? Yeah, that's a discount. So this 25% represents a discount. Let me mark that in green right there. The percent that we're plugging in, that is the discount. The main idea that we work with, everybody, is the percent that you plug in, the percent that you apply, is the result that you get. So that means that if I plug in the percent for the discount, I will get the amount of that discount. Answer this for me next, everybody. If I go ahead and plug in that 25% to get this amount, will this amount be correct? Once I'm done calculating whatever number this is, will that be correct? No, it will not. Because remember, we're looking for what we're paying at the end of the day, not the discount. We're looking for what we're paying. So to get what we're paying, everyone, don't forget how to get there. We will subtract. We would get the original amount, which is the 180, and we will subtract the discount right over here. We subtract that discount, and that's what gets us what we pay. We can handle it like that, or we can handle it another way, which I'll show you at the end. But here we go. If I handle it this way, knowing that I need to get to what I pay, we'll go ahead and move the decimal places over. 1, 2. And we have 0.25 multiplied by 180. And upon setting this up, 180.25. Let's go ahead and get after it. We have 0 times 5. 8 times 5, which is 40, carry the 4. 1 times 5 is 5, carry the 4 is 9. So we'll move up next here to the next line. 0 times 2, that is going to be 0. 8 times 2, that'll be 16, carry the 1. And then 1 times 2 is 2, carry the 1 is 3. So from there, we add everything back together. We have 0, 0, 15, carry the 1. And then we have 4. 4,500, but we'll bring back 2 decimal places. 1, 2. So that becomes $45. So everyone, this $45 is the, again, discount amount. This is not the correct final answer. The correct answer is not A. The reason is because, again, to get what we pay, we have to subtract that discount. So now I can get the final answer here. 180 minus the 45 that I have. This will be the right answer. So to start off, I will go ahead and borrow immediately. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 4 is 3. And then we drop that 1, and we have 135. That, my friends, is the amount that we pay. The correct answer here is going to be answer choice C. But before we move on, I want to show you, again, the other way that we can do this. Because remember, the way that these formulas work is all about consistency. So to get the correct answer in a much faster way, we can just plug in the correct percentage. The percent that represents what we pay, everybody, well, it's this. We start off with 100% because that represents the whole thing. You take away the 25% discount and you're left with 75%. That right there, again, is what you pay. Because if you plug in 75% and you multiply that, everybody, by 180, that's actually going to give you the correct final answer immediately. It's going to give you 135 right away. So there you are, everybody. That's one way or another way that it can work. But there are plenty of ways that you can get percentages done, especially a lot of mental math tricks that we didn't even go over yet here.